Let's turn our attention to another defence and security issue, and that's American officials arriving today to launch a final bid to persuade ministers in the British government to ban the Chinese telecoms giant Huawei from Britain's mobile network upgrade to 5G. Let's talk about this with Guy Cocker, who's the technology expert. Good morning to you, Guy.
Morning, Julie.
Now, we've had this big row while Theresa May was Prime Minister about Huawei, and the Americans, they say they don't want Huawei involved in any of their infrastructure, of their technology, because of concerns about spying by the Chinese government. And yet the UK government seem absolutely convinced they're going to go ahead. Americans trying to persuade them. How big a risk, if any, is the Huawei involvement?
Well, I mean, this issue has been rolling on for months, if not years now, with, like you said, Theresa May delaying a decision now, Boris Johnson not having made a final decision on it. I mean, America and Australia have both banned Huawei from their 5G networks because of concerns that the firm's relationship with China would expose them to the risk of espionage and sabotage. There's no real hard evidence that would be the case, but there is certainly evidence that Huawei is very close to the Chinese government. And so there are just general security concerns about allowing that company's products to be used in the core infrastructure of Britain's 5G network, allowing access to government secrets. The UK government has a sort of intelligence sharing policy with this sort of Five Eyes network, which includes the US and Australia and New Zealand, and there's pretty much transparency between those countries at the moment. And the US is very concerned that any use of Huawei's equipment would compromise that agreement.
Yeah, I mean, Theresa May at the time was, and her people were, they were involved in the hardware, but not the software. There was some, I mean, again, I don't understand these things. I don't pretend to, but there wasn't any risk, and they were already involved in various other aspects of technology, and it wasn't a problem. But of course, I mean, if they're involved at all, I've never understood why we treat China as if they are a sort of friendly nation. They are a hostile nation in terms of cyber warfare. They're one of the worst offenders, along with Russia, in the world. It does seem to me that it is an unnecessary risk, and surely there should be other companies who are available to do this work. And I always wonder why we don't have the technology in this country ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, there are only three real suppliers of 5G equipment. The other two are Nokia and Ericsson, which are Nokia's Finnish and Ericsson is Swedish. So yeah, there are other providers. Huawei themselves have said that they believe that, they are definitely the biggest supplier of this 5G equipment, and Huawei themselves have said that if the UK doesn't go with Huawei, it will cost the economy about £7 billion, because currently the 5G networks of like Vodafone and Three are putting non-essential Huawei equipment into their network. So the likes of antenna, that there is a low chance of any hacking taking place, essentially. But if the government then says, right, we're definitely, because we want to retain that close relationship with the US, we need you to strip all of Huawei's equipment out of the network. That's going to be very costly for 5G operators that are already rolling out this technology to their networks. So it's a very difficult, complicated issue, and as your previous commentator just said that, we need to decide going forward whether our relationship with the US is as important as it is now, and whether we need to be sort of fighting our wars without the US, as Security Minister Brendan Lewis said this weekend, without US involvement in future.
Guy Cocker, technology journalist and expert, really appreciate you joining us there. Thank you very much indeed. Still to come on